We're here with Matt from, well, you're an advisor on Fans Unite.
Yeah, that's correct.
But you do a slew of other things in your past, full stack developer. Tell us a bit about your journey to this point.
Sure. So basically, I was a full stack developer. I have some academia and university lecturing experience, so basically teaching people how to code. And I got into the space in 2017 with a couple of different consultancies that wanted to be venture studios. That really appealed to me, to be able to play the breadth of this amazing space and work on just a number of different projects. However, one pivoted and one kind of never got off the ground, so I went independent, and now I'm kind of working with Fans Unite, and I'm working with another awesome team called Wireline. And basically, I have my own company called Solo Block Solutions, but we just try to keep it low profile. I mean, it's me and a bunch of my friends working kind of loosely as collaborators on a bunch of different projects and deal flow, and just trying to work on the great projects in the space and really just help to add value.
What do you think draws so many talented people to this space? What do you, in your mind, what is the elevator pitch of the entire space to humanity?
That's a really good question, and I just try to deflect it off to something I heard Mark Andreessen say, is that one of the things that people are overlooking in this space is that, I mean, they probably have access to some of the brightest minds in the world. And one of the things he said that people underestimate is that once people get their heads wrapped around this technology, they cannot let it go, and they just become completely obsessed. They find it really encouraging, and I do as well. So I've really grown a lot personally since being involved in this space, and I've met a lot of really amazing people that challenge me intellectually. And I think what draws people to the space is that there is a shift coming towards building open, public, fair, transparent systems of how we organize ourselves, how we coordinate around trust, and how we basically govern ourselves as a society. So I think that's obviously, it's almost like a revolutionary battle cry, you know?
What do you think's holding us back, holding the space back from reaching some of those ideological goals in a sense? Do you think it's potentially a lot of the fluff and bubble that goes on around ICOs and greed and stuff like that? What's your take on that?
No, actually, to be perfectly honest, I don't think it's that. And actually, I think that if we're only focusing on basically kind of pointing out the negatives in the space, then we're never going to really get ahead, and we really need to kind of just keep championing on the positive. In fact, I think there's not enough people in the space. So we mentioned smart people being attracted to the space, but I even think that the space can do so much more in educating and casting a wider net to bring people in from all disciplines to actually grow this space a little bit more holistically as a whole, because this really is kind of like the way a lot of business and industry will go, and I'm not naive. This is going to take a long time. And we're also, one of the limitations I think we're bumping up against is some old world infrastructure. And just to kind of cast a parallel, I mean, we saw it with sort of net neutrality, and we saw it with basically the Title II legislation in the United States. I mean, this is telecom shit applied to the internet that doesn't make any fucking sense, and then they have to dismantle it. Sorry for swearing.
No worries.
But they got to dismantle this stuff. They bring it in, they take it out. We need governments, we need regulators, we need people to get up to snuff with the technology. And again, it goes back to education. So I think it's paramount for the space.
Do you think there's going to be some sort of hybrid model between the Web 2 big data stores, companies today, and what blockchain is bringing to the space? Or do you think it's a zero-sum game and one's going to cancel the other?
I absolutely don't think it's a zero-sum game. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense to be decentralized. There's still, I think, I was just talking outstage at the Cabana with someone about hybrid token and business models, where sort of people can own equity, they can earn dividends, but they also, there's value in holding the token, and there's value in the token utility. So I actually I don't know. I try to stay very agnostic and try to stay out of sort of very maximalist conversations about this. I'd like to see a lot of things get to a point where, as sort of Nick Szabo puts it, we're working with dry infrastructure, we're working with dry protocols, where we don't have a lot of human subjectivity in the process. I'd love to get to that, but like I said, I'm not naive. It's going to take time. We're going to really need to work through a lot of the hard questions in the space and figure this out, figure out how we as humans want to be governed. And of course, I mean, there's a bit of an AI question in there, and you know, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But we got to basically design the future we want to live in, and we need to work together and kind of, you know, hear everybody's voice in order to do that.
Tell us a little bit about Fans Unite, high level. Give us the overview.
Sure. So Fans Unite is basically kind of like, think about it as decentralized sports betting. Really what we're working through is 3 pillars. And the first pillar is not really for the blockchain or crypto community. It's basically our own proprietary AI and ML odds kind of system and engine. And we're designing that so that we can power our own sportsbook on top of the second pillar, which is basically going to be decentralized sportsbooks and betting exchanges. So we would love to run our own sportsbook, and we're getting our gambling licenses in Gibraltar and all of that stuff, because, you know, we don't want to be a crypto project that's solely kind of based on the token and stuff. We want to have a bit of a sort of a business on top that's earning revenues, so we can continually fund the development of this ecosystem. And speaking about an ecosystem, is we want our fans to basically be able to unite around providing data for all sorts of interesting sports bets that it's not up on the sports website. You know, typical match outcomes like 3-2 Canucks Flames. We're in Canada after all, and I'm Canadian. So, you know, 3-2 Canucks Flames, that's going to be up on the website, and anyone can kind of resolve bets based on that objective data. But there's lots of like prop bets, like, you know, are these 2 players going to get into a fight in the 3rd period? Who knows, right? You know, and if they do get into a fight, are the helmets going to fly off, right? So we want fans to be able to kind of stake their tokens and provide that data. And we're working out the token engineering process around how that's going to work right now. So it's a really exciting time for Fans Unite.
Super cool. Where are you guys based, and how can people find you and get involved or become part of the community?
So we're based in Vancouver, British Columbia, and we're at fansunite.com, and that's how you can find out about us, yeah.
Super cool, man. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Great questions, by the way, and I love what you guys are doing here. And I think that, like, as I said, you know, education's really important to me. I have a background in basically university lecturing, and I think it's really important that more people learn about the space. So thanks for doing this.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Great to meet you.